Hello everyone, welcome to Community Distance Reiki and Happy New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve. Really looking forward to New Year's, aren't you? This has been quite the year. Anyway, I'm Danielle Stimpson from Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I'm so glad to have you here with me this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you happen to be in the world. And welcome in. For those of you who might be new here, go ahead and if you're live, click the live chat button. You can go ahead and make any requests for your personal healing, anything you feel comfortable sharing on, an open venue. And we will start by building a beautiful crystal grid to support all of the requests that you have. And after that, after about 45 minutes to an hour of putting together an incredible crystal grid to all of your specs, we will transition into the Reiki sending, where you can just receive the Reiki healing wherever you happen to be. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to enjoy the going through all the crystals and learning about all of them, or you can skip ahead to the healing if you like. There's probably a chapter break, and if there's not, you can just zip ahead to where you see the lights begin to shift. And if you are interested in my online Reiki certification classes, community Discord, social media, or crystal shop, all of the links are in the description below. It's wonderful to have you here, so let's dive in and say hello to everyone and see the grid already in progress. So let's see, we've got so many of you here. We've got hello. I can see only up as far as Kim saying hi, Cora. So Kim, Cora Carr, Grace, the Galguire, really good to see you. It's been a little bit. Key and or Patty. And let's see. Oh, Maria, good to see you too. JS. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, JS, even if you are going to catch the rest later tonight. I'm so glad to be here with all of you also. So yeah, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope you are warm, especially those of you who are in the US and Canada. My goodness, it is absolutely bitter outside. And I'm in Philadelphia. I really cannot complain compared to most of the rest of North America. I was able to finish up crocheting a blanket today, even weaved in the ends. I feel very accomplished. The kitties are happy. And yeah, I hope that you are having a beautiful time wherever you happen to be. As you can see, I started us out with a little bit more of a grid than we usually start out with. We have this beautiful nephrite jade. Jade is the stone of good fortune on so many levels, but particularly good relationships, wealth, abundance, stability, and just happiness in general. So why wouldn't we have it? We also have copper to help break up any energy blockages, get the energy flowing optimally. Citrine to help manifest that material abundance and wealth. Also helps with balancing intuition and logic. And for those of you who are traveling, because a lot of folks are traveling and the roads really couldn't be any worse in a lot of places, we have tourmalinated quartz and moonstone, and among many other healing factors that we'll get into shortly, these are thought to be highly protective of folks who are traveling. So those of you who are traveling, please be careful and be safe. I hope everything goes well, and that even if your plans change, things are safe and comfortable and you get to see those that you care about. So let's go ahead and dive in and see the requests. Let's see. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, you're on the road? Okay, definitely drive safe. Consider those crystals for you especially, and it is absolutely freezing outside. Awesome, everybody's saying hello. I love it. A great coming year, financial abundance, and for studying. Absolutely. Absolutely. So studying, we've got labradorite and we've got tiger eye. Let's do both. So labradorite is one that this can help clairvoyance as well, but it's one that really helps support logic in a really deep and important way, as can tiger eye for that matter. This one can help with also better sleep. So if you're struggling with a sleep-wake cycle, this can be really helpful. But this helps research and study. It helps detailed attention and also finding errors and things. So if you're doing like data science, anything like that, any kind of statistics or math, this can be great. But also when it comes to studying, it helps you to see all of the different pieces coming together so that it's one cohesive story and not just disparate pieces of information that are just getting committed to memory. Tiger Eye has much the same quality. This also helps with workplace disputes. It helps to harmonize things. It's also somewhat protective in travel. So I'm glad that this is here, and it helps you to have joy when you are traveling as well and find the joy in it. And like I said, clairvoyance and being open to visionary experiences when you're meditating, having dreams, any kind of psychopomp work. So we'll bring this in. And we'll bring in that Tiger Eye. Very much gives you this kind of oversight, like big distance view so that you can see all of the pieces coming together. It helps to an extent with memory, as does some other stuff too, but this is very, very helpful. So that's Tiger Eye. Also helps you see things that you may have overlooked, just like Labradorite. And in general, it helps you to see the very, very minute details. It's a good detective stone. It helps you to see things that you may have otherwise missed. So sometimes when we're studying, we're trying to like get all of that data and commit it to memory, but we sometimes can overlook the patterns within. This can help us uncover those, which can ultimately help us commit things to memory. Financial abundance is definitely citrine, but we also have, in regards to happiness and bringing happiness in, we've often been using yellow calcite for this, and I'm going to bring that in again too, helping us to find joy in our sense of self and being led by our sense of joy as we show up in the world, as we show the world our character, as we enter a room, and as we enter any new phase of life. This can be wonderful, bringing in happiness. Awesome, fantastic. Hope that is helpful. Also, moonstone is helpful for lunar cycles, and we are just still very much in the energy of the new moon in Capricorn. So if you still want to like set some really good intentions, today might be a really good day to still do that if you haven't already. Of course, any day is a good day, but if you're using the lunar cycles to have that energy at your back, today is still great for it. It's also fantastic for attracting love, connecting with the divine feminine, and intuition, as well as releasing patterns. And to that end, tourmalinated quartz is fantastic for breaking up those old patterns, especially things from childhood, and releasing those things that can hold us back whenever we're ready to do it. It also helps to clear energy that we have kind of stuck deep in our field, as well as it's thought to break up scar tissue and help to clear up blockages in the cardiac system. So of course, like I always say, none of this is a replacement for anything else, including, modern medicine, but to have is like support can't hurt. It can't hurt to have a little bit of complementary care. This is also fantastic for finding new jobs and new streams of income. So if you're looking for a passive stream of income or a side gig of any kind, this can help you unearth those opportunities. So wonderful to have that tourmalinated quartz, just fortune and good luck in general, as well as healing trauma. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep on going. Future someone, good to have you. Let's see. Yeah, your toes are freezing and everything else is warm. Frozen toes are the worst. Highland Love, welcome in. Something for movement, helping to take action. I love that. We will definitely bring that in. I will keep that in mind as I go through everyone else's requests too. I feel like I'll get to everything that's already listed here. Taking action. Well, I see already a request for, I think I saw a request for garnet. Absolutely, Kim had a request for garnet. This absolutely satisfies both of those things. I love garnet as a taking action stone and as getting that initial energy. It's great for courage, creativity, and practicality. It's also a very Capricorn stone. It's also the birthstone of January. But when you think of Capricorn qualities, a lot of them are reflected in garnet. Strength in times of change, being creative and courageous in how you take those first steps, but also being practical so that you can think of the best way to take those steps, where maybe you can get as much done with one thing as possible. Being able to either multitask or have collaborative events, new ways of best using your energy and your efforts. So this can really support you, help you feel grounded, and take the fear out of taking those initial steps. So we'll bring in some garnet. I love having garnet around for those things. There we go. I love it as like a New Year's stone too. So I feel like that helps both. And I'll definitely add some other ones that'll help that too. I love all the Merry Christmases. Okay, so let me go all the way back to the beginning and make sure I don't miss anything. Oh yeah, lots of protection for you, Patty, on the roads. Greg, Susan, health and materialization. Vincent, feeling worthiness. Lots of love for Patty and your mom for prosperity. General well-being. Opal, something to support colon cancer. Gotcha. We've got Opal here. Opal is a very mystical kind of stone. It helps with psychopomp journeying, any kind of shamanic work, any kind of magical work where you want to stay protected. And even potentially just sort of unseen, like you want to stay out of other people's way. This can also help us with any work around the veil, so to speak. So like crossing over, passing over, or doing any kind of spirit work. I love it. It's highly protective and it's very wise. We also have some rutilated quartz. I love this stone for so many reasons. It's great for balancing mind and body, and we're so out of balance this time of year. It's also fantastic for bringing us energy. If we feel run down, if we're getting our energy back after being ill, if we're trying to ward off being ill, if we haven't been sleeping well and we just feel like we're getting run down or we're working too hard, rutilated quartz can really help. Also helps to direct energy exactly where it needs to go for optimal healing. And in that regard, it's thought to be one of the best stones you can use for helping support the body through cancer treatments. So I hope that this is helpful and supportive. Let's do this and this. For Patty, getting the zest for life back, we usually use yellow calcite, but definitely rutilated quartz and garnet can support that too. We've also got, for Patty, we have jet, which helps with attracting lost pets to come back. It's also helpful for anyone who's struggling with grief. It's a stone that is, it really supports us to be in the grief, really in it, and able to process it and be one with it without being completely overwhelmed by it or just numbing out entirely. So it helps us to walk through the steps of grief in a more measured way. So I hope that this helps support anyone who's struggling with grief, especially at this time of year. Not that there's any good time for it, but I feel like the holidays bring up so much, don't they? And your mother for prosperity. We've got the citrine, and I know there's always requests for abundance, and I know that Grace also had that request. I'm going to bring in some pyrite. Pyrite. Fool's gold brings the real gold. This is also very helpful for intuition. It helps bring clarity and grounding while also offering protection. It's also one that's used for brain and memory. I know that there's a couple of you who've made some requests around that in the recent past. Helpful for fever for anyone who's struggling with illness, and also for optimizing a Reiki session. So let's bring some of this in. Ooh. And if my hands look like they're shaky, it's because I think I had a bit too much coffee. But it was so delicious, I couldn't help it. Okay, let's see. And for Greg and Susan, health and materialization, let's bring in the Herkimer. Actually, I have a better idea. Let's bring in Chevron Amethyst. This jumped out when I was getting ready I was setting up the grid today. It like jumped into my hand and didn't want to leave. It wanted to be part of the grid. And it definitely supports a lot of the requests that we've had recently. And it's Chevron Amethyst. So Chevron Amethyst can help us connect to spirit, sharing with spirit what our requests for the universe are, and also opening us up intuitively so we can hear the universe responding and saying like, hey, it's right in front of you, or not that one, or look to your left, or are you sure you really want that? It can be very helpful for that. It's also really helpful for tolerance, which, I mean, the holidays, my goodness. It's never a bad day for that, but especially now. Also for spiritual and intuitive psychic channels, visionary meditation, journeying, and psychopomp work, which I know that Cora Carr has been working on. Psychopomp is what many folks would think of as shamanic journeying. It's to see and envision and almost role play and work through with your guides. So this can be very helpful for any kind of visionary journeying meditation or spiritual intuitive work. There we go. So that's Chevron Amethyst. General well-being, I like that. Oh, good stuff. Finding a new home, financial abundance, and awakening of undiscovered spiritual gifts. Oh, I like that too. Let's go ahead with Larimer helps with that. Larimer helps with that. Finding your kind of unknown intuitive and spiritual gifts. This can be really helpful. This is it helps us it helps us kind of see our own unique way of connecting with spirit and our spiritual purpose than we have before. It helps us to open up to it being unique. A lot of times we look towards what's been done, like okay, so I want to do this, so how do I do it? What's the prescription? And when it's spiritual work, it's not that straightforward or easy. And so this helps to open you up to what could possibly be, so that you can start to see your own way forward rather than everyone else's. This is also one of being a spiritual pioneer and helping to innovate, as well as kind of setting our ego aside when we embark on our spiritual journey, so that while we're kind of trusting in the universe, we're also not being led astray by our ego while we do it. So this can be a really helpful one. So that's Larimer. Here's another example of Larimer. So let's bring that in. So I feel like that's helpful. Okay, I'm going to kind of go from the top down now. I love it. As things come to my mind, either the group chat or Danielle mentions the same thing. Patty, you are not wrong. That has been happening since we started this, even when we were way back on Zoom. It always happens. There's so much overlap in what we're all moving through. And there's also the concept of communal chi. The more people come together with the same or similar intention, the greater that energy is magnified. So all of us coming together, we're building this energy, and then we start to sense new potentials for ourselves, and then we start to open and overlap and see those similarities that maybe we're not that separated and not that different after all. Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad all of you are here. So let's make sure I don't miss anything. So Key requested red tiger eye, lapis, mahogany, obsidian, amazonite. So red tiger eye. And mahogany, obsidian, and lapis. There we go. Lapis is also helpful for career improvement, but integrity in general, honest, open communications where everyone is working together, relationships built on truth and honesty. So it helps us to find those connections with those people as we move up in our career, whether we stay within the company or job or career field we're in or shift slightly. It's also helpful for pain and inflammation, as well as getting organized, which I know is something that future someone's been working on. I feel like I'm always working on that. Even though I'm not really disorganized, it just helps to do even more. Let's do, oh, you know what? We'll do this here. Right by the garnet. We've also got red tiger eye, highly protective, whether it's like petty kinds of things like triangulation, bullying, whether it's big or small, all the way up to like spiritual and psychic attacks and things like that. This is highly protective. It's also great for manifesting financial abundance in a hurry. So we'll bring this in. And we'll put that with the other stones that we have for protection for our drivers. There we go. Mahogany obsidian helps us to let go of perfectionism so that we can just sort of let go and enjoy. This can really help with the intention of moving forward in our spiritual highest good as well. And anyone who struggles with that can definitely come through in family dynamics this time of year especially, is looking for validation or feeling like we need to be validated. So we keep trying to strive for perfection, even though it'll never be good enough. But also just in general, anytime we feel like it has to be perfect, so we're kind of stuck in this, I can't do it because it's not going to be good enough and it's going to fall apart and it's going to fail. Mahogany obsidian can help you with that. Do them. Actually, let's do them here. Yeah. Always trying to change it up. Lapis, mahogany, obsidian, amazonite. So, just add a general blessing for all those who are who aren't thriving during the season, absolutely, we can do that. Let's go to Amazonite, which helps with, it's the caretaker stone. It helps with self-respect and prioritizing your own self-care, seeing your own worth, seeing that you are worthy of being treated and prioritized in all the same ways that you treat others and prioritize others. So this can be incredibly helpful for anyone who has that sort of giving first, thinking of self second kind of mentality, which is a lot of people in the healing arts. And so this is also great for things like calming, which I think everyone could use every day to a point, but also neurological issues, particularly anything having to do with the nerves that come off of the spine as well as the spine itself. So whether it's something like sciatica or, disc issues or scoliosis or spinal stenosis, anything like that, this is thought to be helpful for. So yeah, we've got the Amazonite there. Thank you for being here. And general for things, something for people who aren't thriving. Let's bring in some Aqua Aura. This is one that's been helping a lot of us that struggle with depression and seasonal affective disorder. This is clear quartz that's been processed in a man-made process using gold. And it's been quite helpful for a lot of us. So I hope that this helps support anyone that's not thriving, as well as I feel like amethyst is jumping out, and I know we have some amethyst already. This can help to some extent too. This helps with separating what we need and prioritizing what we need and what our responsibilities are, letting go of the responsibilities of others. It also helps with self-improvement in really practical ways, and it helps us with that part of us that thinks, okay, but if I'm self-improving, that means something's wrong with me. I'm fundamentally flawed. This helps us let go of that and see us as like, you're worthy. Yeah, you're a work in progress. Ideally, all of us are, because we all have some things we can work on. But seeing yourself as spiritually valid while also doing that work, rather than kind of a self-deprecating kind of way. So let's bring this in. I feel like that'll help us there. Okay, and thank you for being here. Yeah, it is a really rough season for a lot of people. It brings up all the pain, doesn't it? Chrysoprase, peridot, flower agate. Flower agate helps us bloom and blossom into who we're becoming and to see that happening. So it can really be an encouraging stone that allows us to see start to see the fruit of all of our labor. When we can be a little like, oh, I still have so much work to go. It really goes along with chrysoprase so well. For now, I'm going to put you here. Or maybe here. Chrysoprase helps to overcome disappointment and setbacks. It also allows us to move on after those setbacks. It helps with overcoming disappointment and with burnout. This is one that allows us to complete goals and have follow through, because it shows us how much work we've already put in when we feel like, oh, I feel like I'm on a treadmill and I'm just not making any progress. This allows us to see the progress we have made, the lessons we have learned, and how much we've grown along the way, and taking that really healthy sense of pride with it, which allows us to either pivot or keep going. We've also got some peridot, which helps to break up cycles, but also helps to bolster the friendships and relationships that support you and encourage you and really fit in with the better patterns and the things that you're replacing it with. So if you're making any changes, this is one that can help you find and bolster those relationships that are in alignment with who you are now and are becoming. So we'll go ahead and we'll sprinkle that in here. There we go. So awesome. Glad that you are here. We've also got white and red coral. White coral helps us to avoid distractions when we are on our spiritual path. It allows us to really see the way forward and not be daunted by negative feedback. Sometimes criticism and negative feedback from those we love is good. It's kind of like pointing something out that we might have a blind spot to. And sometimes it's just not helpful. This allows you to separate one from the other and continue on your path, which is so important. We've also got red coral, which is a super defender of women. It's a major anti-misogyny stone. This is a stone that anytime a woman is relegated, being devalued, silenced, admonished, this one steps in and kind of lifts her up so that she can be heard over the voices that would put her down or set her aside or discredit her in any way. So this is a fantastic stone, especially for women in the workplace and women in career. Releasing fear and guilt, embracing joy and connectedness. And what did we use last time for guilt? Chrysocolla, Larimer, and rose quartz. So we have Larimer already. Let's go ahead and do some Chrysocolla. Chrysocolla is definitely encouragement as you follow your spiritual purpose. So this is definitely in alignment with a lot of the requests we've had today. This helps us find new ways of creative expression and making decisions in alignment with your highest good. And I can see where that helps with alleviating guilt. It's helping you to make those decisions that are in alignment with what is in your best interest rather than looking back and blaming and shaming. So this can be really happy and healthy for that. I'm going to put that here and here. We've also got rose quartz. And by the way, the book I used, here we go. It's The Crystal Healer by Philip Permut. And rose quartz, it helps us when we're getting ourselves into a place of accepting new energy and new thoughts and ideas, because rose quartz is a very consistent, high vibrational, unconditional love. It makes it a lot easier for us to see what's coming in when we let go of something. A lot of times when we struggle letting go of something that's not healthy, it's because we're worried that something worse is going to take its place. And this is one that's just kind of there, stalwart, and gives us the opportunity to say, oh, wait, I can replace it with that. Let's take that instead. So this can be very, very helpful when we are working through patterns and changing. I also want to bring out, I was thinking of this last night, epidote. Not only does it help the nervous system and the skin recovering from illness and injury, it also helps with negative self-talk. which can be such a thing, especially when you're struggling with something like guilt or shame or self-blame or any kind of internalized stuff from childhood. If we've heard the words coming from a person of authority, whether it's a teacher, a coach, a parent, like in my case, that's a struggle, that is a stone that can help you to like go, hey, wait a minute, is that really true? Let me think about that and maybe let it go. So it can help break those tapes a little bit. So I hope that that helps, and I feel like everybody could use all of those. Okay. And we've got which one? Epidote. I'll go through the last couple that I used. So yeah, I went through rose quartz. Before that, chrysocolla is the one that helps us make decisions in alignment with our spiritual highest good. And then the one that I just used was epidote. And I will spell that in the chat. Epidote, epidote. It looks very similar to unakite sometimes, and other times it looks mostly green. It can be a little hard to identify if you're not used to seeing it, because it can look quite different at different times. The ones I've seen getting mined recently have very little pink in them. Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely helps with the tapes we kind of have of like the intrusive thoughts in a way. I know I struggle with that. Negative self-talk and intrusive thoughts. I struggle with that. It also connects to the fairy realm if that's something that you like working with. So yeah, so I hope that that's helpful. And we've got wealth blessings we covered, weight loss, cardio we covered, stronger connection with psychopomps and magic we covered. So let's do some weight loss. Iolite can have that impact if you intend to use it for weight loss. It's also helpful for fever, as well as money management, psychic sleep disturbances, or anytime energy, Reiki, tarot reading, you name it, keeps you from being able to get a restful night's sleep. It's almost like your spiritual head is on and your human body doesn't want to sleep. This can help with that. And it helps with the visions we get when we meditate or do journey work. So it can help with that as well. So we'll put that. Let's iolite here and here. Glad that you are here. Maria. Pursuing life's purpose, support and guidance from the angelic realm, and transformation. I love all of that. Definitely a lot of life's purpose here. Let's do the angelic realm. Definitely. And I think this will also help JS with the fears. And the other one I wanted was transformation. Gotcha. Okay. So celestite, fantastic angel stone. It is what happens when it's actually celestite later can turn into angelite if it's left under the right circumstances. So celestite helps with our connection to our higher wisdom and the angelic realm, whether it's getting the wisdom of our angels or simply feeling them nearby and being aware of their presence and even connecting and communicating with them. If you're doing any kind of angel-based energy work like integrated energy therapy, which is another type of energy healing I do, this can be very helpful for that as well. It's also fantastic for any type or style of pain for any reason, as well as discerning thoughts and fears from intuitive guidance. So if you're one of those like, I can't tell if it's actually like a warning or my intuition telling me something's wrong, or I'm just afraid of it or worried about it, this can be helpful. So it's very good for worries. And that's celestite. So I hope that that helps. And Transformation, smoky quartz. It's also very protective. It helps with releasing worry. It's very calming, and it actually transmutes energy. It changes it. It doesn't just repel it. This was used to protect things from theft, even at least as far back as the Middle Ages, probably before then too. It was kept near priceless things and near entryway points to the home to protect them from theft. So yeah, that's smoky quartz. And that's smoky, so I'm so glad you're here. I hope that helps. Chris, it's good to see you. We have Amazonite for your sister. For Frank, we'll do some blue kyanite. Which helps with radical self-acceptance, another thing that helps with manifesting our spiritual purpose. Because sometimes we're like, am I really? Can I really? Is that me? This helps us to say like, yeah, that's me. I'm proud of it. That's just how it is. Also with understanding the spiritual messages that come through, whether we're mediuming, doing tarot reading, anything like that, helps us to understand and make sense of those messages, as well as anytime that there's brain injury or stroke. Particularly, it's thought to be helpful if there's issues with mobility or speech. So we're going to bring in blue kyanite. Go. And blue sapphire, aragonite. So blue sapphire is an intense stone of intuitive awakening, particularly strong for things like mediumship and anything that you might want to get the message and then translate it to someone else, like journeying for someone else, or reading tarot or mediuming for someone else. This helps us to not only get the message and get a very strong connection, but then also translate it in a way that's understandable. So that's blue sapphire. If you're not used to grounding, if you don't have a good practice of that, get used to that first before you work with a stone this strong, or work with some grounding stones with it. But I would say it's a very powerful stone, and I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm not going to say like, don't do it unless you've been doing this forever. No. If you feel like you have a good way to ground your energy afterwards, you're probably fine. If not, I would work on that first and then start working with sapphire. There we go. We've got aragonite, helps with healing on the physical level, as well as balancing the root and earth star chakras, which is enacting our purpose, and the soul star and the crown, which is connecting to all that is divine guidance and wisdom and our unique soul path. In between, because both of those up and low are balanced and opened, the energy between can flow much more freely and openly. This is thought to help open the necessary spaces for the Kundalini energy to rise. If you have those experiences of Kundalini rising and you find it a little bit herky-jerky, almost lopsided, that's often, especially when you're first starting to work with that kind of energy, this can help to continue to open that up. So it's not one that like shuts that energy down, but it does help it be a little bit more measured. So I'll bring this in. Let's put that on top of the rose quartz. That looks really pretty. We've got Herkimer. We've already got the aqua aura. We've got the peridot. We've got the iolite, ametrine, hematite. We've got the rutilated. Cool, good stuff. So hematite helps with harmonizing energy that feels a little out of balance. Hello, holidays. being present and in the present moment, as well as manifesting, connecting us to what we seek in a very spiritually balanced way that takes into account the people, places, things that are going to be touched by these requests, as well as metabolism and intuition. And we have hematite, which helps us to release and ground energy that we are trying to let go of, as well as helping us to be connected to the earth, grounding and releasing energy from our physical body. Hematite is here. It's this polished gunmetal. It's got so much iron in it that it can be magnetized. So it's a very heavy stone. Ametrine. And I think that's it. So ametrine is amethyst and citrine together. So as we discussed amethyst and citrine already, this really takes the qualities of both and wraps them in a very spiritual energy and kind of exalts them both. Citrine is what happens when amethyst is exposed to heat and pressure over a prolonged period of time underground. And so you will find specimens that have both, and that's what ametrine is. There's only a little bit of amethyst that you can see in here, as well as clear quartz. So, interesting stone. And we love it. There we go. And thank you so much for being here, Chris. Cool. And want to make sure I'm getting everybody's. So obsidian, black obsidian. Well, we already have mahogany obsidian. That's the only other one I have. So yeah, rutilated quartz we have, rose quartz we have, amethyst we have, Dalmatian jasper, and then garnet we have. So Dalmatian jasper, black obsidian. So Dalmatian jasper. Black obsidian helps with physical shock. It helps with grief, trauma. It's highly protective, and it's also good with nervous pets. So yeah, this helps with moving through some serious trauma, physical and emotional trauma. Whether it's in that acute moment, it's excellent there. But also if that stuff gets kind of reactivated, it can be really helpful. So trauma survivors, people with PTSD, this can be a great stone to have in your arsenal. It's also good for grief too. And for that, I will actually place it. Maybe I will do... I've got these here. I'm going to place them underneath here. Dalmatian jasper is black tourmaline that's going through jasper. And in this case, it's white jasper. Black tourmaline helps to repel negative and less than great energy. And here, when it's going through a clear stone, we can see what happens here with tourmalinated quartz. This is what happens when it's going through like an opaque stone. We have, this basically helps deep clean the energy field around us, helping us to, whether you're working through something and you're changing and breaking up those cycles, a lot of times we're releasing a lot of energy. This helps continue that like purge. It also helps to clear our energy field and keep it clear if we're going into environments where we tend to absorb energy, or if you're very empathic. This can be a really good stone. A good one to clean on a regular basis. I usually just use like new moon energy or positive intentions, but usually for clearing stones, what I use here is selenite, placing them on selenite for a couple hours, and or placing them on or near Epsom salt or salt for any period of time, usually overnight or a couple of days. Thank you for being here. And thank you for those requests, Kim. Have a Merry Christmas. Something for movement to help take action. We did that. Ooh, Chris lit a candle. Thank you. Okay. We took care of future someone's request for awakening of undiscovered spiritual gifts. Finding a new home is very much covered in tourmalinated quartz. We put out some lapis earlier, and I mentioned you with, I know you've been trying to declutter and purge things, so that can help there. And financial abundance, absolutely. We've got citrine and pyrite and red tiger eye. Okay, so garnet, we did that. Unakite, emerald, pyrite, we got. Fluorite, sodalite, bloodstone, you got it. Sodalite, fluorite, bloodstone, unakite. Unakite, great for quitting smoking. Anything having to do with women's health, particularly hormones, pregnancy, fertility, healthy, happy marriage, heart and circulation of fluids around the heart, and anything women's health at all. Also metabolism, especially if it's connected to hormones. So that's unakite there. We've got emerald as well. Emerald is an excellent stone of the heart center. Super high vibrational heart healer. Helps to bring in unconditional love and friendship. And this is a piece that I was gifted from a jeweler on Jewelers Row. So, as I've mentioned here before, most of the stones that you'll see in the healing crystals kind of industry, like the ones that you find on my website, for example, they're sort of what's left after the jewelers have taken their cuts. And the lapidaries or stone cutters have cut as much as they can that's usable for like high-end jewelry, like fine jewelry. Then you get things like we might make, like this wrapped in wire would be beautiful. I would love that. But this is actually a piece of rough emerald that wouldn't really be appropriate for cutting into something else. Either the cleavage or the breakage lines, the fracture lines, are going in the wrong direction, or it's not clear enough, or there's other specimens in there. Clarity, any number of things can be different, but it's still the same stone, and I love it. So yeah, excellent also for tissue healing, so skin and ligaments, tendons, any kind of tissue healing. This can be helpful for. So we'll put this right here opposite our ametrine. Oh, I love that. Sodalite helps with speaking our truth and communicating. Opens up the throat chakra, so it can also be good for any ailments of the throat. It's also good for kind of if you're finding the perfect words and communicating in a very meaningful way. It can be helpful for any kind of public address and writing as well. Let's put you here. Well, maybe not. Let's put these here and here. Fluorite is so super calming. I love it. It also is helpful for teeth but I honestly use it for calming. It's just superb for that. As far as fluorite goes, let me know in the comments what you might use fluorite for or how you work with it. So many folks use this stone in so many different varied ways. There could be books on this stone alone. So many people use it so differently. But yeah, if I want to just sit and just chill and feel like the energy is flowing through me and I'm getting unstuck, fluorite is usually a go-to for me. And this is actually, these are not carved. This is how it forms in nature. Bloodstone is the emotional stuff hits the fan stone. It helps for emotional stamina. It helps to lift despair. It's also great for self-doubt, which if any time of year is going to help bring that about, it's bathing suit season and now. But it also helps to aid a very awake and rambling mind if you're trying to meditate and your mind is running away from you. Yeah. A great stone when you just feel like it feels like the ground's been ripped out from under you and your heart is broken. This is a great stone to go to. Definitely an emotional stuff hits the fan stone. Okay. And that's bloodstone. Oh, thank you for being here. It's good to see you, future someone. Intentions for a blessed, happy Christmas, full of miracles and New Year, everyone. Absolutely. Rest stop coffee. Okay, I think we're good. We have a full house here. So what I'm going to do is forego the vote, and I'm going to have you all bring up the energy by doing the thing that I mean, I know we're all setting new intentions for the new year, but I find that the best way for me to set intentions is to also be grateful for what I have. And I feel like that helps shift the energy. But gratitude energy helps lift the energy anywhere. If you want to change the energy of a space, you don't even have to light anything. You don't even have to move. Just start thinking of what you're grateful for. So go ahead into the chat. Write a couple things that you're grateful for. Go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is and how it works for anyone who might be new, and then we will get into the healing. So as I mentioned at the start of the stream, my name is Danielle Stimpson. I've been teaching Reiki for about 14 years, and if you want to learn more about my live online Reiki certification classes, you can go ahead and check out the description below, where you can also find information about my community Discord, crystal shop, and social media. So the style of Reiki that I've been working with all this time is known as Usui Reiki. And this is named after this particular method's founder, Mikao Usui, who created this method in early 1920s Japan. There have been many practices of working with Reiki energy before, during, and after his time creating this practice. And all of them are lovely. This is just the method that really resonates with me the most and is probably definitely the most popular and common style that we see in the West. So while Usui studied and practiced so many different spiritual arts and healing arts, he was a Tendai Buddhist monk, so practitioner of esoteric Buddhism. He studied Taoism, Confucianism. He studied and practiced many forms of shamanism. The best way I can describe how the very concept of energy works at the very foundation of Usui Reiki is that which we see in Shintoism, which is the indigenous spirituality of Japan. In Shintoism, everything has a soul. Everyone has a soul. And all of these souls are interconnected, and there is movement between all of them. When we act, it impacts the whole. The whole of the universe impacts us. There's a symbiosis. And within this interconnectedness, there are forces at play outside of the individual. And one of those is this spiritually guided soul energy and life energy that works to support us on the body, the mind, and the spirit. That is what Reiki roughly translates to. This particular force isn't owned by anyone. This is one that is already flowing through you and is a part of you that everyone has access to, and so is understood in Usui Reiki. When you study or practice Usui Reiki, what you're essentially doing, and I'll be doing today, is connecting to that energy source that's already flowing through all of us and directing more of it to you, which supports your body, mind, spirit to come into the best sense of balance and healing it can to support your greatest well-being. And you don't have to do a single thing. You can simply get as comfortable as you can, take a deep breath, you can close your eyes, maybe you'll take a nap, you may feel some sensations in your physical body, some emotions may come up or be released, you may notice your mind opening or your subconscious beginning to speak, and you may get some intuitions, or you may just have a really great nap, or more than likely some combination of all the above. No matter what happens, you don't have to do a single thing. You don't have to focus on anything. You don't have to keep your mind silent. You can enjoy this time any way that feels right to you and simply just experience. If you have any questions at the end of the session, I'll be sending for 25 minutes. I will turn up the music, which, by the way, if you'd like the music, go ahead and check out the musical creators info in the description below. At the end of that 25 minutes, you'll hear my voice come back in, and I'll invite you to simply take a deep breath, come on back to the chat, and ask any questions that you may have or share any experiences that you feel motivated to share. During the session, I will also have the lights shift. They will be a little bit lower and will gently move through several different colors, but at no point in time will they flash or strobe, so you're good there. And as far as how the Reiki flows through us, just like we're mostly made of water, but we don't usually think of it that way, water is critically important to just our very survival and so many, if not every function of our body all the time. At the same time, we can't consciously control how our body uses the water. And it's very similar with the concept of Reiki. This energy is a part of us. We're made of it. It's always flowing through us. Our body, mind, and spirit are always making the most of it at any given time. This is just more like an influx of it that helps to create bigger shifts. And we don't have to focus on how it does what it does. We can just allow these parts of ourselves that already work with this energy to do what they do best. So thank you for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to share this energy with all of you. All of our individual energies will stay separate and protected in the best possible ways, while this beautiful, uncorruptible energy of Reiki flows through all of us. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a privilege, as I just said. And if you do have any questions, if you're watching this in the future, know that just as we are all interconnected, so it doesn't matter where you are, this energy will reach you. It also doesn't matter when you are. So no matter when you're watching this video, hello from the past, you're going to have just as fun and healing a time. If you have any questions, if you're watching this in the future, use the comments below or reach out to me on social media or the Discord, and I'll do my best to help you sort that out. And for those of you who are here, if ever I'm not live and you do need some Reiki, just go ahead and pull up the past live streams playlist and enjoy yourself and just get some healing. It absolutely works really well whenever you need it. So let's go ahead into that session. Thank you for sharing all your gratitudes. I'm grateful for all of you. Happy Christmas Eve, and let's get into the healing. Oh, that looks so nice. Cool. Cool. Actually. Cool. Oh, this is so cool. I love it. I love all of these absolutely beautiful gratitudes. Aw, thank you all so much, and so many of them are grateful for me, and that really warms my heart. And I'm working on creating a space for us to have more community outside of the live streams. I've been noticing the Discord hasn't seemed to be the best way to do that. I'll keep it going because maybe one day it will grow, but I'm working on another thing that might work better. So I'll keep you posted. So everybody go ahead, get nice and comfy. Sit up, lay down. You can do anything you like on your end while you simply enjoy the energy. I'm going to go ahead and start sending the Reiki. Thank you for being here, and happy Christmas Eve. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly come back to your body. Thank you so much for being here with me this evening. Happy Christmas Eve to all of those of you who celebrate. And if you have any questions or anything you'd like to share, go on ahead into the chat. Blue Sky dropped in with some beautiful words of positivity. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Kim. The kitties slept through that. One of them just woke up as the session drew to a close, stretched, made a noise, and went back to sleep. Oh, Highland Love. You're so very, very welcome. I'm so glad it was helpful. You're welcome here anytime. I'll be back tomorrow, Christmas Day at 8 p.m. East Coast US time. And if you'd like a little break between now and then, you can always watch the old recordings and just bliss out wherever you happen to be. Thank you. Thank you for the kindness. I hope this helps. And especially for any of you who are struggling through the holidays, I get it. I absolutely get it. That's why I'm here. Apologies for the West Philly of it all in the background if you're hearing the sirens. Whether this is just a random quiet Saturday in your world, or this is a difficult time or a happy time or a stressful time or a combination of all of the times, I hope that you have a beautiful evening. I just have a friend dropping by tomorrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and make us some cookies and some desserts. Yes, thank you, Galguire. Absolutely. You're so welcome. And yes, hope you're warm. Hope everybody is warm. Oh, Highland Love, I'm so glad to hear that. Lots of love to you. You all are welcome. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, if anyone's struggling, believe me, I know I don't have family. I'm estranged from family by choice. Like I'm on talking terms with like my sister. That's it. So I get it. I'm cool with it now. Like now it's just like, yep, I'm good. But it took a long time to get here. So I definitely understand. And things kind of hit the fan right at the holidays, because of course they would, years ago. So, yeah. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it. Y'all are welcome here. I hope all of you stay nice and warm. My thoughts and well wishes have been with... Oh, the car is warmer now too. That's great. Hey, Healing Center DC. I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're well. Merry Christmas. I'm so glad. Have a wonderful holiday and great weekend to you too, Chris. Yeah, and Cora Carr is reminding me to be a good YouTuber. Like, share, and subscribe and all that good YouTubey stuff. It looks like I am going to hit 500 subscribers by New Year's, which is great. That's more than I thought I would. I just moved here from Zoom because it was like we'd outgrown Zoom, and here we're continuing to grow. So thank you for being here. Yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, thank you, Highland Love. Lots of love to you too. So much love to you too. Totally feeling the good vibes. So I am going to get started on some pretty epic desserts tonight. If any of you are interested in the recipes, I can post them. And definitely keep an eye out. I will be putting a... check YouTube on your phone to see the news feed. I will be putting out a poll to see when you would like to have New Year's Eve's community distance Reiki. New Year's Day we'll do at 8 p.m. because it's Sunday and we're already here. But New Year's Eve, I want to know what time, or maybe even times, that we'll do New Year's Eve. So, yeah. So look out for that poll. I'll put it up right after the stream ends. And I'm going to go ahead and end it here with an abundance of gratitude for all of you. Thank you so much for being here. All of my information is in the description. All of that stuff too. We're way too small a channel to have like a, whatchamacallit, like a, whatever, they super chats or anything like that. But you don't have to give a darn thing to be here. I'm just happy you're here. But if you would like to, there's links in the description. But abundance of love to every single one of you. Have a beautiful rest of your evening. Take care of yourselves. And I hope to see you again soon. And bye for now.